Mark 15. And as soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. And they bound Jesus and led him away and delivered him over to Pilate. And Pilate asked him,
"Are you the king of the Jews?"
And he answered him,
"You have said so."
And the chief priests accused him of many things. And Pilate again asked him,
"Have you no answer to make? See how many charges they bring against you."
But Jesus made no further answer, so that Pilate was amazed. Now at the feast he used to release for them one prisoner for whom they asked. And among the rebels in prison who had committed murder in the insurrection, there was a man called Barabbas. And the crowd came up and began to ask Pilate to do as he usually did for them. And he answered them, saying,
"Do you want me to release for you the king of the Jews?"
For he perceived that it was out of envy that the chief priests had delivered him up. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release for them Barabbas instead. And Pilate again said to them,
"Then what shall I do with the man you call the king of the Jews?"
And they cried out again,
"Crucify him!"
And Pilate said to them,
"Why? What evil has he done?"
But they shouted all the more,
"Crucify him!"
So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released for them Barabbas, and having scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. And the soldiers led him away inside the palace, that is, the governor's headquarters. And they called together the whole battalion. And they clothed him in a purple cloak, and twisting together a crown of thorns, they put it on him, and they began to salute him.
"Hail, King of the Jews!"
And they were striking his head with a reed, and spitting on him, and kneeling down in homage to him. And when they had mocked him, they stripped him of the purple cloak, and put his own clothes on him. And they led him out to crucify him. And they compelled a passerby, Simon of Cyrene, who was coming in from the country, the father of Alexander and Rufus, to carry his cross. And they brought him to the place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull. And they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it. And they crucified him, and divided his garments among them, casting lots for them, to decide what each should take. And it was the 3rd hour when they crucified him. And the inscription of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." And with him they crucified 2 robbers, one on his right and one on his left. And those who passed by derided him, wagging their heads and saying,
"Aha! You who would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross."
So also the chief priests with the scribes mocked him to one another, saying,
He saved others. He cannot save himself. Let the Christ, the King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe.
Those who were crucified with him also reviled him. And when the 6th hour had come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour Jesus cried with a loud voice,
"Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani,"
which means,
"My God, my God, why have you forsaken me?"
And some of the bystanders hearing it said,
"Behold, he is calling Elijah."
and someone ran and filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on a reed and gave it to him to drink, saying,
Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to take him down.
And Jesus uttered a loud cry and breathed his last. And the curtain of the temple was torn in 2 from top to bottom. And when the centurion who stood facing him saw that in this way he breathed his last, he said,
"Truly, this man was the Son of God."
There were also women looking on from a distance, among whom were Mary Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James the younger and of Joses, and Salome. When he was in Galilee, they followed him and ministered to him, and there were also many other women who came up with him to Jerusalem. And when evening had come, since it was the day of preparation, that is, the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, a respected member of the council, who was also himself looking for the kingdom of God, took courage and went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Pilate was surprised to hear that he should have already died, and summoning the centurion, he asked him whether he was already dead. And when he learned from the centurion that he was dead, he granted the corpse to Joseph. And Joseph bought a linen shroud, and taking him down, wrapped him in the linen shroud and laid him in a tomb that had been cut out of the rock. And he rolled a stone against the entrance of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of Joseph saw where he was laid.
Great song from Bob Dylan in 1983, I think. Neighborhood bully, he's just one man. The enemy says we're on their land. They got us outnumbered about 1,000,000 to 1. Nowhere to escape to, nowhere to run. He's the one and only neighborhood bully. Neighborhood bully just lives to survive. He's criticized and condemned just for being alive. Not supposed to fight back, supposed to have thick skin, supposed to lay down and die when the door is kicked in. An angry neighborhood bully. Neighborhood bully has been driven out of every land. He's wandered the earth, an exiled man, seen his family scattered, people hounded and torn, always on trial for just being born. The outcasted neighborhood bully. He knocked out a lynch mob, he was criticized. Old women condemned him, said he should apologize. Then he destroyed the bomb factories. Nobody was glad. The nuclear bombs were meant for him. He was supposed to feel bad. Press onward, neighborhood bully. Well, the chances are against him and the odds are slim that he'll live by the rules that this world makes for him. There's a noose at his neck and a gun at his back and a license to kill him given out to every religious maniac. No wonder he's the neighborhood bully. He's got no allies to really speak of. What he gets he must pay for. He don't get it out of love. Buys obsolete weapons and he won't be denied. But no one sends flesh and blood to fight by his side. Street fighting neighborhood bully. Well, he's surrounded by pacifists who all want peace. They pray for it nightly that the bloodshed would cease. Now they wouldn't hurt a fly, from all violence they flee. So they lay and they wait for this bully to fall asleep. Awaken, neighborhood bully. Every empire that's enslaved him is gone. Egypt and Rome, even the great Babylon, made a garden of paradise in the desert sand, in bed with nobody, under no one's command. I'm Israel High, neighborhood bully. Now his holiest books have been trampled upon. No contract he signed was worth what it was written on. Took the crumbs of the world and he turned it into wealth. Took sickness and disease and he turned it into health. Here comes the neighborhood bully. What's anybody in debt to him for? Nothing, they say. He just likes to cause war. Pride and prejudice, superstitious indeed. They wait for this bully like the dog waits to feed. No one stops the neighborhood bully. What has he done to wear so many scars? change the course of rivers as they pollute the moon and stars. My neighborhood bully, standing on a hill, the clock's running out, but our time's standing still. Forever, neighborhood bully. Vehu-ha-ya, vehu-ho-ve, vehu-yi-hi-ye. This is a verse I'm singing to you, Mr. Dillon, because I know you need to hear this. Well, the Father so loved this world that He sent His only Son, that we could have His Spirit. It's a choice for everyone. Now I'm a fool for His sake. Whose fool are you? It's a satanic counterfeit. You've got to serve somebody. Who? Well, I'll be a neighborhood bully.
Mark 16. When the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint him. And very early on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb. And they were saying to one another,
"Who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance of the tomb?"
And looking up, they saw that the stone had been rolled back. It was very large. And entering the tomb, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, dressed in a white robe, and they were alarmed. And he said to them,
"Do not be alarmed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him? But go, tell his disciples and Peter that he is going before you to Galilee. There you will see him, just as he told you."
And they went out and fled from the tomb, for trembling and astonishment had seized them, and they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. Now when he rose early on the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, from whom he had cast out 7 demons. She went and told those who had been with him, as they mourned and wept. But when they heard that he was alive and had been seen by her, they would not believe it. After these things he appeared in another form to 2 of them as they were walking into the country. And they went back and told the rest, but they did not believe them. Afterward he appeared to the 11 themselves as they were reclining at table, and he rebuked them for their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they had not believed those who saw him after he had risen. And he said to them,
"Go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved, but whoever does not believe will be condemned. And these signs will accompany those who believe. In my name they will cast out demons. They will speak in new tongues. They will pick up serpents with their hands, and if they drink any deadly poison, it will not hurt them. They will lay their hands on the sick, and they will recover."
So then the Lord Jesus, after he had spoken to them, was taken up into heaven and sat down at the right hand of God. And they went out and preached everywhere, while the Lord worked with them and confirmed the message by accompanying signs.
And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to His purpose. Whom He did foreknow, He did also predestinate to be conformed to the image of the Son, that He might be the firstborn of many brethren. Time's gift alone. Fate is already known. It's your destiny to make it to the end. Destiny to go against the trend. Heavenly destiny. these last times for you. When you're gonna see you're meant to be the chosen out of history. No one else can take your place, the one and only in the human race. When you're gonna see who has a will, you and only you can fulfill your destiny. The steps of a righteous man are led by the master's plan. It's your destiny. Don't forsake the call. It's your destiny. A stone in the wall. It's your destiny. Your accidental call. Your destiny. I, John, the holy city, who you shall pray. Your destiny down. God, for the heaven, prepare to